Hello, everyone. So, today I wanted to discuss this masterpiece of science fiction with you, which is Hyperion by Dan Simmons. And actually, I had just finished Foundation and the Dune series also. So, I was looking for some other great masterpiece of science fiction, and this book came up. And truly, after reading this, I can agree with this review here. Unfailingly inventive, bears comparison with Foundation and Dune by New York Times, है ना? And so I found both elements from Dune and the Foundation series in this book, because it also has the hard sci-fi element of Foundation and the prophecy and mysteriousness and the romance elements of Dune. Both are in this, or ecological collapse. These themes are, I think, covered beautifully in this Hyperion novel. So what is this story about? Without spoiling, basically you can imagine a galactic empire, right? And the ruling class is called the hegemony. The ruling political structure is called the hegemony. It is helped by a techno core AI. So basically a big AI which helps in making its decisions, day-to-day decisions and long-term decisions. And it's an amalgamation of several AIs. So whatever decisions the AI comes up with, basically the ruling class doesn't question it. Kind of like how we see today's LLMs, right? We just go with the conclusion. We don't know how it works, but we most of the time we agree with whatever the conclusion it is giving. So that's the political structure. Then on the fringe of this hegemonic empire is the planet called Hyperion. And this is a mysterious planet. It is not completely integrated within the hegemonic empire. And it's shrouded in mystery. It has a mysterious monster called the Shrike. There are tales about this monster, and somehow he is able to control time. That's all I can tell you about this monster. The Shrike on the planet Hyperion can control, or seems to be able to control time, and he's very ruthless. He or she, we don't know anything about the Shrike. He has red eyes. That's all I think we know about it. And it's a very spiky creature. And there is a church of the Shrike which invites applications from, I think, all over the Galactic Empire to visit the Shrike, like a pilgrimage. And no one ever returns from the pilgrimage. So why do people go there? We don't know. And it's said that basically very depressed people are welcome there, and they go and they never return. It's like a final journey. And but why the Shrike is able to do such things with time, as the story suggests that it can control time, we don't know. Then there is another faction called the Ousters, right? They are basically the enemy of the hegemony. They are not integrated with them at all. And so both the hegemony and the Ousters, they basically see Hyperion as a possible weapon on their side. So whoever can control Hyperion first, possibly they can change the status quo. And the story basically begins with our main character, the consul. He's basically a diplomat from the hegemonic side. And 7 pilgrims are chosen for this time period. And the story is set in 29th century, right? So some 1,000 years from now. And so 7 pilgrims are chosen this time, and one of them is the consul. And basically everyone is given a warning that one of the 7 pilgrims is basically a ouster agent. And so one must be careful and basically figure out what is going on in Hyperion. So the structure of the story is like the Canterbury Tales by Chaucer, right? And what happens is the 7 pilgrims meet at a certain location, and before going for the pilgrimage to Hyperion, because they don't know whether they will return alive or not, so they decide that okay, let's just discuss one by one our tales. Why are we here? And let's get to know about each other. So they get a random lot system, and one by one the 7 characters tell their tales. And guys, the main crux of the story is in those 7 tales. It's actually 6 tales, but there are basically 7 characters. So each story is basically a new science fiction story in itself, and somehow it's all connected to Hyperion. So without spoiling anything, I will just tell you the themes of the story. So for example, one of the character is named Saul, and that is my favorite story. Saul is there with a small baby in his hands. So people are questioning that why has he brought a baby with him on such a dangerous journey. So it's revealed that that's his daughter Rachel in his arms, and Saul is very old, right? He's balding and he has a small baby in his hand. So you would think that she is his granddaughter, but she is his daughter, and she has been struck with a very rare time illness. It's called a Merlin illness in the book, and that she's aging backwards every day. Every day she gets getting younger and younger. So eventually she's going to die backwards in time. Maybe like a cell, or I don't know how she will die, but that's the journey of the baby and the father. So the father is there with his daughter in hopes of finding a solution to this cure. So that's why he's going to Hyperion. That's his purpose. This is one of the most tragic stories that is told in this novel. It's very heartbreaking to see the journey of Rachel. So that's one story. Another theme is there is a poet, and he wants to basically finish his grand poem, and for creativity, it's revealed, I think, that his creativity also is somehow linked to this planet Hyperion. I will not spoil anything, but it's linked to the Hyperion planet. Then there is a soldier, a strong general on the side of hegemony, and he has fought many battles. He's a very roughed up character, rigid character, but he is also somehow linked to Hyperion, because in his simulations, when he's training for becoming a soldier or general, he meets a certain character in his simulations, and only he is able to see her. So he falls in love with her. Then it's also revealed that she is also somehow linked to Hyperion. So that's his motivation for coming there. Then there is a detective, a female detective by the name of Braun. So she had been tasked with the investigation of a murder of a cybrid. A cybrid here in this novel is basically a cyber hybrid, a human with the transplanted intelligence, or transplanted artificial intelligence. So it's a hybrid of AI and human. So a character named Johnny, and he was murdered basically, and she starts with the investigation of why he was murdered. So somehow that is also linked to Hyperion. So there are these six to seven characters. Each of them tell their tales, and we are meant to basically piece together, if we can, of why and how they are all linked to Hyperion, or this Shrike monster who can seemingly control time. What are their motivations? What is his motivations? And so that's the whole plot of the novel, structure of the novel. And I really enjoyed this novel, I must say. Each of the tales is basically a separate science fiction short story. So the problem here is that when I was searching for best science fiction novels, everyone kept saying Hyperion, but no one mentioned that it is a part of a series. So when I finished this book, I was just lost. That was a very strange ending. And then I got to know, okay, this story continues in the next novel. The next novel is the Fall of Hyperion. So I think there are 4 novels in this series. So, but even keeping that aside, the world building in this novel, this is really mind-blowing. I mean, the science fiction concepts that are explored here are many, right? And love, war, violence, parental love, creativity. So many themes have been discussed here. The political factions and revenge. There are so many themes here to discuss. So I won't spoil anything, but I've given you a summary, a plot summary, and the structure, and why you should read this. So please read this, and let me know if you like it. Okay, thank you.